When you go out to document the world at large, you learn so much. I mean, that's one of the joys of photography. It's like a passport to further understanding. Really, it was about, the landscape of wind. All the grasses are bent down, and I was trying to sort of explore wind power in different ways. Or, I think it's near Hunterston, which is where they are, in fact, exploring to put up new wind turbines, and it was just a sort of landscape of wind that interested me. They're quite difficult, to photograph wind turbines. A lot depends on the sort of geography, the topography, and the light. Also, sort of how you configure the thing. I was lucky in Whiteley's because I managed to get some people into the picture that gave a sense of scale. Here we had a front coming in, there's rain coming out of the clouds, you've got the turbines within the landscape, within really quite a sort of old world British sort of landscape, the cattle grid, the gates, the dry stone walling. Well, Orkney was very interesting for me. We went out to look at these technologies being tested actually in the sea, very close to the sort of Old Man of Hoy. You can see it in the background of one of the photographs. You have some of the biggest waves in the UK, huge waves that are caused by all kinds of things, tidal anomalies and so on around that part of the coast. Yeah, it's not easy. I think I was very, very lucky in having an extremely good rib skipper who took me out. So he really knew how to drive a rib, and so he could get me very close to the machinery in very big waves. So I was really excited to be able to see it really looking as if it was working. There were some delays. I was kind of interested in doing the aircraft carriers being built. It's kind of the last moment of shipbuilding left for Britain at the moment. Anyway, of course, the Americans would say that our aircraft carriers are tiny, but from a UK perspective, it's a big scale shipbuilding operation, huge numbers of people, very difficult logistics in the Rosyth dry dock. So the scale of the thing was impressive, and it took a while to get it sorted out, permission-wise and so on. But yeah, that's what I did. Finally, they said it was okay. I was actually particularly interested in seeing the aircraft carriers at night. And that was an additional challenge because, security, night, and so on. But I thought it would look really good. Of course, the other thing to say is that it's a world of men. There were women there in the rescue and emergency setup that they have, for any sort of emergency. There was certainly one woman, and there's probably quite a lot of women in the admin side, but I'm talking about walking around, working, welding. There's a lot of welders, I hope it will draw the public into an interest both in manufacturing and in photography. I think the way in which, each of us individually approach the photography is interesting, very interesting. Everybody's trying to sort of do it in their own way, and it's not for any sort of corporate brochure. It gives us a sort of cultural freedom to engage with industry. The sort of cultural freedom that, people like Lee Friedlander had when he did Factory Valleys years ago in Ohio, or some of the documentary photographers that have shaped the history of this kind of documentary photography. I think it's great. It's lovely to be involved because everybody's different, and you just hope that it brings people that make the journey some pleasure, because there's no point in putting up an exhibition and they take the train there or they drive there and they go, God, that was really boring. So basically I just hope that people feel that it was worth the journey going there. That's all.